Can we please just take a moment to appreciate that my t-shirt says Book Queen? Hey book lovers, Victoria here and you're watching My Books Me. Today I'm bringing you my final and most anticipated releases video for the year. I've already done 2 of these videos in the past, so go check them out if you haven't already. I just want to point out that I think of all the books I've talked about in those videos, I've probably bought about 5 of them. I've probably read about 3. Actually no, it'd be more than that, but of all the books I've talked about, it's only a very small percentage that I've actually bought and that I've actually read. But I feel like with these ones, I'm probably going to read them as soon as they come out. So let's go. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So let's go because I have 8 books that I really want to talk about with you guys. So the first book comes out on the 5th of September and this is Godsgrave by J. Kristoff, the second book in the Nevernight Chronicles, and I have been not so patiently but trying to be patiently waiting for this to come out ever since I finished Nevernight earlier this year. I absolutely loved it, and the way Nevernight ended, some shit went down and some stuff happened that I wish didn't happen, and I'm just really excited to see where Jay has taken his story. I absolutely, first off, I love the cover for this book. I'm so excited to have this on my shelf next to Nevernight because they look so pretty, and I remember reading that as the books go on, because it's a trilogy, isn't it? The sun on it gets further down because it's the sun setting. Very exciting. So at the end of Nevernight, stuff happened. Mia kind of saved the day and she kind of becomes a blade of Our Lady Blessed Murder. So Mia becomes a blade, but she's kind of an outcast among the blades because she didn't earn it how everyone else did. She didn't pass the test that made her become a blade. It's just because shit went down and she ended up saving everyone in the Red Church, and people aren't here anymore, and just, yeah. So while she's feeling outcast among a lot of the other blades, she kind of grows a bit suspicious about the Red Church, but then it is announced that Consul Scavia is making a rare public appearance at the conclusion of the Grand Games in Godsgrave. Mia defies the church and sells herself to a gladiatorial collegium for a chance to finally end him. Upon the stands of the arena, Mia finds new allies, bitter rivals, and more questions about her strange affinity for the shadows. But as conspiracies unfold within the collegium walls and the body count rises, Mia will be forced to choose between love and revenge. Ooh, I didn't realize there was love in this one. And uncover a secret that could change the very face of her world. I know now not to trust J. Kristoff when it comes to love, so I don't think that will go anywhere, but I am really excited. From what I've seen by the people who were so lucky to get ARCs for this, I'm very excited, and I know that as soon as I get my hands on this book, I'm going to be reading it, and this time I will not be waiting 6 months to finish it. The next book also comes out on the 5th of September, and that is They All Die in the End by Adam Silvera. And honestly, I only recently looked into what the book is going to be about because it was just the title that caught my attention. I've never read anything by Adam Silvera before, but his work has been praised so highly that I really just need to jump on board and read something by him. This one sounds really interesting. These 2 people on the 5th of September, no less, find out that they only have 1 more day to live, and they don't know each other, but they end up meeting up and just living their life in their final day. It sounds like it's going to be a very powerful novel, and I'm excited. And as I said, Adam had me at the title. I didn't care what the book was going to be about, but the title had me hooked. The next book comes out on the 12th of September, and that is Fireblood by Ellie Blake, the second book in the Frostblood saga. I have been waiting for this one for 9 months now. I'm so glad that we didn't have to wait a year for the second book, because the first one only came out in January. So I'm so glad someone publishing, I don't know, someone decided let's only make them wait 9 months, because I could not wait a year. So even though the first book saw the Frost King defeated, it's not like the end of everything that is going wrong. There are still forces at play that threaten to destroy everything. So Ruby has to leave Arcus's side, because she knows that the only way they're going to be able to defeat the Minax will be to go and find the other Firebloods in the south, in Sudsia, I think that's how you say it. And so she ends up traveling there with this rogue Frostblood, she ends up traveling there with this rogue Fireblood, Kai, and she has to prove herself to the Fireblood Queen because she's a bit skeptical about this girl who came from the Frostblood area and she's still alive and blah blah blah. She kind of has this maybe little romancy thing on the side with Kai, which I'm very skeptical about because I want her with Arcus. I mean, I didn't go through that whole entire book for her to just decide in the second book she didn't want to be with him. It turns out like the fate of like the two kingdoms now and these two worlds rests on her shoulders, and I'm excited. I really loved the first book. It took me a little bit to get into it, but once I was into it, I was there, and I'm very excited for this next one, and I want to see how it all comes together for the third book, which is Nightblood, which sounds creepy and awesome. I don't usually do this. I've said this in previous most anticipated releases videos. I don't like to include books in series that I haven't finished or started or read yet. But on the 19th of September is One Dark Throne by Ken Dare Blake, the second book in the Three Dark Crowns series. I don't know if this is a trilogy or not, I'm not quite sure, or if it's a duology, no idea. As I said, I haven't read Three Dark Crowns. Well, that's a lie. I've read probably the first 6 chapters or something of it, but I was really enjoying it. I just had other things to read at the time and never got around to finishing it. But the whole concept has intrigued me, and I'm including it on this list because I feel like once I read Three Dark Crowns, I'm definitely going to dive straight into One Dark Throne. Probably best that I wait till it comes out, to be honest. I heard mixed things about Three Dark Crowns, but a lot of people had said that it was just this really long setup for the second book, so I'm excited for that. On the 21st of September, we have Username Uprising by Jo Sugg, the third and final book in the Username series. I'm really excited for this one. I knew the moment that I finished reading Username Regenerated that there was going to be a third book. It's going to be really interesting because there is a person from the world of Escape who escaped into the real world and obviously going to be causing havoc, and Evie and her friends have to obviously try to save the world. I don't know, but I'm really excited just to see where this series goes, how it's ending, and yeah. Continuing on with the YouTuber book releases, coming out on the 5th of October is 147 Things, My User's Guide to the Universe from Black Holes to Belly Buttons by Jim Chapman. This one sounds just generally interesting. Jim is like, I love watching Jim, his videos are great, and I feel like this book is going to be very fun, probably informative, a little bit educational, and just a really funny read. I don't really know, but I'm really intrigued because Jim had talked a lot in his videos about how he was writing a book and then he was going to like traditionally approach a publisher to see if they would accept it, more so than what other YouTubers have done and have been offered a book deal. He was doing it more the traditional way, like actually writing a manuscript and then submitting it. But I'm really intrigued to see what this book's about and what it's like. The next book, which is another YouTuber book, comes out on the 10th of October, and I'm really excited for this one. It is Rhett and Link's Book of Mythicality, a field guide to curiosity, creativity, and tomfoolery by Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal. I've been watching Rhett and Link on Good Mythical Morning and Good Mythical More, and This is Mythical, and their podcast for probably about a year now. It's part of my day now, and I've actually gone back and like watched old episodes and things like that. So I'm really excited to see what they've done with this book. I feel like because they are older YouTubers, like they're nearly 40, I feel like this book is going to be like, it is a little bit about their life and things like that. That's also, I don't really know what this book is going to be about, but I feel like just because they're that little bit older than everyone else on YouTube sort of thing, or like the mainstream YouTubers, this book's just going to be a little bit different maybe to what the other ones are like. I don't know, but still, I'm excited. On the 24th of October, we have Blue Bottle Tree by Beard Glover. I was actually involved in the cover reveal for this book a while ago, and it sounded really interesting. For starters, the cover looks amazing. But this book intrigues me a lot too because it actually is about voodoo, and I don't think I've actually read anything with voodoo in it. I've read a lot of paranormal and fantasy books, but nothing with voodoo in it, so that's exciting. There's no such thing as voodoo, at least that's what most of the Baptists in Bellin tell themselves, but Seven LaFay knows better. In a small rural town just outside of Nashville, voodoo conjures and curses simmer Voodoo conjures and curses simmer and seed under the nose of many who will never know. 17-year-old Seven romanticizes about the meaning of life while held captive as a zombie under the shell of a kiddie pool. He's counting on the strength and maybe even love of a certain red-headed clarinet player to save him, but will she? Filled with betrayal and revenge, two families struggle with a curse that stretches back to the Queen of Voodoo's Marie Laveau. In this contemporary Southern Gothic adventure, prepare for a wildly original twist on the paranormal. The book trailer for this was also dropped recently. I'll link to that below. That one looked really interesting. But yeah, this just sounds like it's going to be a really fun and interesting and fantastical paranormal read, and I've never read anything that sounds like it, so definitely check it out. Finally, the final book that I am excited for this year comes out on the 31st of October, and that is The Trials of Morrigan, the first book in the Nevermore series. I say it comes out on the 31st of October, but my media release for it said it came out on the 10th of October because I was kindly sent a copy for review from Hachette Australia. But it is a middle grade novel about this girl, Morrigan, who is swept away into this magical world, and how did it go? And she is contending for a place in the city's most prestigious organization, the Wanderers Society, and in order to do that she has to win against these other kids who have these weird, wonderful talents, and she doesn't really possess anything, so she really wants to try and win, otherwise she'll go back to her non-magical world where she is kind of like cursed and no one likes her. Should be really fun. So they are the, did I say nine books that I'm excited about for the rest of this year. I definitely feel like I'm going to read some of them this year, probably how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, at least half of them I will read this year. But very, very excited for them, like with a few of them being sequels to series that I'm loving. I'm just excited. Let me know in the comments below if you're excited for any of these books, what books you are excited for, if there's some I didn't mention. I know there are other books coming out, but obviously maybe they're sequels in series I haven't read or just books that I haven't seen. I don't really know, but let me know some books that you're interested in, and I will see you guys next week with another video. Bye!